Hi, it's Joey here with Mindset Reinvent, the channel that offers tips and advice on how to achieve positive change in your life. A bit of a different one today. I've just pressed record and I don't know what words are going to come out of my mouth. I've just given myself the topic of addiction to speak about, and primarily my own personal journey. I'm outside at the moment, as you can see. Thought I'd get out of the house. Makes me a bit, well, surprisingly it makes me a bit self-conscious because I'm not looking directly at my face while I'm recording and I can't see my droopy eye, which incidentally I made a doctor's appointment for at last this morning, so hopefully I can get that sorted soon. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, this is a very personal video to me. Addiction is something I've battled with for a long time. I think looking back now, the first real problems I had with substance abuse, and I should just say, trigger warning here, there's going to be talk of drug use, drug taking, etc. Over the course of this video. So what was I saying? Yeah. So I think we'll go back to the start of 2016 where drugs started to become a real problem. So that was when I just split up with my boyfriend at the time, who I'd been with for, oh gosh, just over 5 years. And yeah, and the reason for us splitting up was basically his demons and his problems with alcohol, which I'd just literally been in a heightened state of anxiety for pretty much almost all of the last 5 years, just due to his drinking, and not knowing what state I was going to find him in. Sometimes even if I was going to find him in hospital or at home. It really was that extreme, to the point where on New Year's Day 2016 I had to call an ambulance, dial 999 to come to our apartment because I found him completely unresponsive in bed, just with his eyes wide open. I was getting nothing from him, and yeah, so that was it. That was literally the straw that broke the camel's back. And I don't want you thinking I'm being unsupportive, but this had been going on for a long time. He refused to get any help, refusing to admit it was a problem. He had a problem, so essentially I just could not take any more. And once he was out of my life, that was it. I was free. And like I said, I've been literally living in a heightened state of anxiety for most of the duration of our relationship. And yeah, I don't know what came over me. I've taken drugs in the past, never been a huge problem, but I was always the person who would probably take them to excess, but mainly to keep them recreational. But this time, I don't know what it was. I think it was in reaction to the relationship split, and they soon started taking over my life. They soon started becoming a problem. They soon started impacting on my work, impacting on my health, etc. I was living in London at the time, moved up to Manchester, and over the course of the next few years my drug use extended beyond the party drugs of MCAT and GGHB or GBL, into the more dangerous of the party drugs, crystal meth, which I'm sure lots of you will be aware of. I think crystal, I've never seen the show itself, but I'm sure the show Breaking Bad is based around crystal meth. And yeah, that started to become a real problem, to the point where I was not only smoking it, but I was also, trigger warning, injecting it as well, or slamming as the term is used, when it's, I don't know why they use the term slamming. I suppose it's just takes away from the medical language of injection, doesn't it? It makes it sound more exciting. But yeah, and my battle with crystal meth had been a recurrent problem and an ongoing problem over the last, probably since 2017 was when it started to get a hold of me. And I've had several periods where I've tried to go sober and had success for a period of time, sometimes many months. I think the longest period is about a 9-month period, but always went back to it. And I think that's because I handled my recovery in the wrong way. But today marks 114 days sober from crystal meth, and this time it feels different, and I know it's different this time because what I've done this time is to put lots of things in place and approach sobriety in a completely different way. every other time when I've approached sobriety, or I've tackled sobriety, or attempted sobriety, that's the right expression, it's been through sheer willpower alone. With no support mechanism, no support, accessing no support, just knuckling down and just pushing myself to go without, which does have some success, and it has to be said, I did have like one 10-month period, another period last year which lasted 4 months, just over 4 months. I'll tell you what it was like during those times. It was almost as if I was a piece of elastic, and it was getting stretched and more stretched and more stretched. And a picture of the elastic as my sobriety. It's getting more and more stressed and more stretched, and it was getting more and more taut and tighter. And all of a sudden, ping, boom, that was it, straight back down that rabbit hole of crystal meth addiction. And for those of you who understand what crystal meth addiction is like, when it gets a hold of you, it gets a hold of you. It got a hold of me again for the last time last May, almost a year ago now. And I was literally down, I could call it a rabbit hole, but I was down that rabbit hole from the middle of May last year right through to January 3rd of this year, which was the last time I took crystal meth. And what have I done? How have I got myself out that rabbit hole, and what's different this time? Well, this time I have been accessing support. I have been attending group recovery sessions. So I'm just going to let this person pass. Yeah, like I said, I've been accessing group recovery sessions through which are focused towards LGBT people and problems with addiction for all sorts of substances. It's not a 12-step program, but it's literally a case of getting a room once, twice a week with a group of people, and literally sit down, check in, find out how your week's gone, talk about your week, talk about anything that's on your mind, talk about whether you've used or not, and literally give advice to others as well. And that has been a real turning point for me this year, because I found strength in others as well. It's so empowering to be in a room of people. Sometimes there could be just a few people, like a group of 6 of us. Sometimes it could be 14, 15 people, depending on the numbers that week. But so I get so much strength from hearing other people tell their story and talk about their addiction, their struggles, their weeks, and just seeing them really wanting to succeed. Yeah, they don't always succeed week on week, but I see changes in people. I see people blossom. I see people come in all timid and shy, and I see people literally turn into different people over the weeks. It's like a caterpillar emerging from a cocoon into a butterfly. I could see them blossom, and there were other people there that as well, that they didn't go to the group, then they're literally clinging on to their lives by their bare fingertips. It's like they're on a rock edge, and their fingertips, they're holding on. And yeah, there's part of you that thinks, why are you still coming to this group and doing the same thing and making the same mistakes week in, week out? You keep coming in saying you're using, but then you haven't used for a few days and you're determined not to use again, and then the next week or the week after that's the same story again. But then I had a bit of an epiphany, thought, hang on, you are being far too harsh on these people. These people are trying. These people want to sort themselves out. And if this group or these groups didn't exist, God knows what kind of situation some of these people would be in. These groups could literally be the only thing keeping these people from really going under and really hitting complete rock bottom. And I don't even want to think about what the alternatives could be for some of them. And these groups are giving them strength, and just basically keeping them in this world, to be blunt. So yeah, I really enjoy the groups. They're a huge success. I go usually twice a week, at least once every week, and yeah, I'm going to go again this evening. As you can imagine, as you can tell from this video, I'm one of the people that waffles on a lot, and I've always got my 2 pennies worth to stick into to offer to other people. But I hope that all the advice I give other people there is very constructive. what else have I done this year? I've got rid of all the apps on my phone, and by apps I'm talking about things like Grindr, etc. All those apps, so I'm not tempted just to get on those apps, because so many people on those apps are looking for fun, and that fun would involve drugs as well as sex. And just to remove that temptation of getting in a conversation with someone and just being asked if you're interested in a H&H session. This is what it's called on there, high and horny session, for those of you who don't know. Just removing that question from my life has been a game changer, because I'm not putting temptation in my path. What else do I like to do, or what else have I been doing to literally stop myself from falling back into old habits? God, when I was walking down just to this park, I was thinking about all the things I was going to say, and of course I've gone completely out of my head now. I'm going to turn around and walk back this way. I've been keeping a close eye on my mental health as well. That's been a huge thing. One thing I like to do is just literally flood my brain with information. It might not work for everyone, but I find that really works for me. And by that I mean listening to podcasts about mindset, positive change, mental health issues, listening to podcasts just about other things as well, whether it's people discussing Doctor Who, which is one of my favourite TV shows, whether it's any other subject which I'm interested in, just to keep my brain from being distracted and overthinking, which it has a habit of doing. One of the best things I've done in the last few months is join the gym, and I've found this has a great effect of calming my mind. A lot of my thoughts tend to be quite overwhelming, and things can go over and over and over and over in my mind, and I can have so many things fighting for space and attention going on in my head. And I suppose one of the things I used to do was just use drugs to self-medicate that. Whether it's ADHD or not, I don't know. I'm currently going through the process of hopefully getting a diagnosis or something or else, if it's something else that goes on in my head. But yeah, drugs would be a form of self-medication just to calm my brain down, really. And it's only since somebody pointed that out to me that, yeah, the penny dropped, and thought, yeah, actually that is the case, because my head would be turning over and over again with many different things, and just to get myself away from that headspace, that's what the drugs would do. And that's what the meth would do specifically, and it would calm me down and I'd relax. It'd almost be like, smoking meth to me would be like smoking weed is for other people. It just puts me in a mood where I'm not having to deal with the real world, and not only the real world, I'm not having to deal with my real thoughts. Yeah, going to the gym, cycling is another form of exercise I do, swimming as well, just gives me that dopamine rush, that rush in my head which calms my thoughts down, gives me something to focus on, gets my serotonin flowing, whatever the expression is, endorphins. I don't know all the technical or scientific terms, but you know what I mean, don't you? When you get all those feel-good chemicals going through your head. But feel-good chemicals are natural, not those that are drug-related, man-made, etc., the nasty ones that shouldn't be in there. And as well, going to the gym gives me, I see results going to the gym. I see my body change. I take more pride in my appearance. I see myself getting healthier and healthier. And yeah, it's just a case of starting to plan for the future, working out what I want to do. Building up my finances again is a big thing. Keeping track of everything that's going on in my life. Building relationships again, which have taken a back seat, or I've totally neglected during the time when I was in periods of addiction. So my relationship with my family is now not a lot better. My relationship with my mum is probably the best it's been for years, because I'm taking the time to invest in that. Yeah, and just realising actually that I don't want to be a slave to drugs. I want to be me. And I am a fantastic person. I do have a lot going on up here. I do have so much potential in life, and to waste that all on drugs when there's such a big world out there, it's just tragic, really. It's just tragic, and I mourn for more, is that the right word to use? But yeah, I mourn for people who are in that situation, and I mourn for myself who was in that situation, of all those wasted years of opportunity. But I don't dwell on it. I look forward now, and I look at all the exciting opportunities. There's a big world out there. There's lots of things I want to explore, discover, lots of places I want to go, lots of things I want to do. I want to inspire people as well. I want to show people that yes, you can come back from addiction, and not only can you come back from addiction, but you can flourish. This is me. I'm in my second wind of life now, and I'm determined that I'm going to carry on. Yeah, I'm going to stop this video now because it has just been me waffling for, well, 15 minutes non-stop or so. And I know as soon as I press stop, I'm going to think about a dozen other things I should have said, but that doesn't matter. Plenty more times to speak to you all. I hope that you enjoy my videos. Please do like and subscribe to the channel. Oh yeah, one last thing I want to say. Yeah, something really hit home yesterday. It was like a motivational quote that somebody sent me, and it's like, oh God, it's gone over my head now. What was it? Oh yeah, addiction is giving up everything for one thing. Recovery is giving up one thing for everything, and that's what I'm doing. I'm giving up the drugs to have the life that I deserve and the life that I want. And hopefully those of you out there who may have been in similar situations to me, whether it's addictions, drugs, alcohol, whatever, gambling, whatever it is, that you can see there's a big whole world out there, and to devote your life to that one thing which is destroying you and is toxic is not the right path in life to take. I will see you soon. Ciao for now. Take care. Love ya.